An Asheville minister was part of history during the civil rights movement after a friend was killed while walking beside him in Selma, Alabama.
We spoke to Reverend Clark Olsen tonight, 50 years after it happened. News 13's Ashley Searles joins us. Ashley, he spoke at AB Tech this afternoon.
He did. Reverend Olsen said he's gotten calls to speak to crowds more and more lately with the anniversary of the March on Selma coming next month, or in 2 months, and he said it's meaningful to him every time he tells this story.
In a demonstration in Marion, near Selma.
Today, a crowded auditorium listened to Reverend Clark Olsen speak about what happened 50 years ago on that Alabama sidewalk.
I went to Selma because I had seen the news videos of the horrible events of the Sunday march.
Olsen was one of about 1,000 clergy members that showed up to march in Selma 2 days after 600 unarmed civil rights activists were attacked with billy clubs and tear gas.
I told my then wife and my 4-year-old daughter that I really believed this, that it was not going to be dangerous.
Olsen never believed that anyone would attack ministers, his friends.
They came up behind us, and I turned and saw the man swing, one of the men swing the club.
50 years later, Olsen remembers it in color, not black and white.
He swung it with enormous force at Jim's head. And what I remember is the sound of that hitting his head.
Minister James Reeb died 2 days later, and Olsen, pictured here in the waiting room of the Birmingham hospital, made history books. Reeb's death gave the cause momentum, and the Voting Rights Act was passed months later.
I'm always moved when I tell the story. I can't tell it without some tears or something close to tears. To remember holding Jim's hand.
Over the years, Olsen has spoken to dozens of crowds of people, mostly kids, always carrying the message with him.
Speak up. Say something. Do something. You never know what can happen.
Now, Olsen plans to go down to Selma, Alabama this spring on the 50th anniversary of the march there. He'll be in the company of several former presidents, prominent activists, and Hollywood celebrities.